G'day everyone, welcome back. So, I know we had an engine for the boat, but this is what taking hold of an opportunity looks like. So, this is way bigger than I was intending on putting in the boat, but when someone contacts you and says, would you like a free 6-cylinder diesel with an outdrive, I mean, you don't say no to things like that. So, it looks pretty rough, but I'll take you for a closer look and a walk around, and we'll show you what it is we're working with. I don't know if it runs, we're going to find out today. If it runs, she's going in the boat. If it doesn't run, cross that bridge when we get to it. Alright, so what we have is a BMW 636. So 6-cylinder, 3.6 litre, advertised at 180 horsepower. Yeah, indirect injection, full mechanical diesel with outdrive. Now that's a BMW Mark II outdrive, so I found out, and apparently it's the bigger and better of that sort of stuff. Now this engine came about from a friend of a friend, as funny as that sounds, and basically that friend of a friend was contracted to salvage a boat that had broken its mooring and ran aground. This engine hasn't been underwater. It was pulled out of the boat because the rest of the boat had to get scrapped. This was basically hung onto, and by way of, you know, just knowing about what I do and what I muck around with, he got in contact and said, I've got this engine sitting here, if you want it, you can have it. And I did. So before we dig in too much, a couple of the reasons why I think it's a big engine. The scales on the forklift say it's about 450 kilos with the outdrive, which is, I believe, every bit of. The Perkins isn't really a lightweight either. So 4-cylinder, 90 horsepower. That thing, the scale on the forklift said it was about 350. So we got 100 kilos more, but we've also got an outdrive. So keep that into mind. So as far as weight goes in the boat, between the Perkins and the BMW, I really don't think we're at too much of a weight issue. Physically bigger, no two ways about it. It's about 350 mil bigger, or it's about a foot longer than the current Mercruiser that's in there, the 4-cylinder Mercruiser. But because of the configuration, and it doesn't have a carburetor hanging out on top, it's actually slightly lower. It doesn't look like it, but it is. So it'll allow me to put a slightly lower engine hatch in, but it is longer. So anyway, you got to pay a price somewhere, don't you? So some of the issues with it straight off the bat: when it was removed from the boat, it was just very, very roughly cut out and was picked out with a grabber on an excavator. That has damaged injectors. Oh, broken that injector. I don't think the rest are really harmed. The injector lines are, you know, stuffed. It smashed the lift pump and broke off the fuel filter hanger. Also the oil extraction plunger. Obviously copped a bit of a unhappiness as well. That's about the only damage from when it was removed. It obviously didn't see a great deal of maintenance because the stern drive's just covered. Now it's turbo diesel, and it's got a rear through the transom exhaust. It doesn't exit exhaust through the leg, which I'm fine with. I don't have an issue with that. It does pick up water out of the leg down there, so it's not a through hole setup. I'm going to keep it like that because these stern drives use the raw water to cool the leg before it goes to the engine. So I like that. Yeah, turbo diesel. The turbo currently, I can't spin, so we're definitely going to have to look into that. The outdrive, I'm not looking at that just yet. We're going to have to unbolt it, so get it out of the way, and I have a stand for this. Where did I get a stand, you might ask? Well, the other massive bonus about this engine is that if you go back a few videos, we launched my uncle's boat. It runs this engine, 2 of these engines actually. It used to run the bigger, or same design, but the Mercruiser variant, which was a little bit more horsepower, slightly different but same basic engine. because of that, and he's got really good ways of finding parts, he has 4 parts engines stripped in his shed. This exact engine, 4 of them. And 3 of those legs sitting there. Now he can't use those legs at all. He runs the Bravo legs, not the BMW legs, because his were originally Mercruiser engines. Just a bit of a different configuration. So I have 3 full legs that I can take advantage of, as well as 3 more props. There'll be another prop video, so keep a look out for that. And like I said, 4 engines worth of parts. So yes, it's got broken injectors and bits and pieces. I've already got them. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to get everything out. We're going to get the legs stripped off. Start getting this thing to attempt to make noise. A good place to start with this, before I try and remove the stern drive and everything, I'm just going to get all the crap off it. Raw water hoses, broken bits, all the wiring will come off because I need to get here to replace the injector lines anyway. So, and I'm going to pull a sump plug. It's been leaking oil. I've made a massive mess in Dad's shed. Sorry, Dad. So we'll pull the sump plug just to get rid of whatever's in there, get everything out. I am also going to pull the glow plugs because I want to give it a compression test when I get the thing to actually spin over. So. Oh, looking better already. So, I've never pulled one of these apart at all. But I'm thinking, so I was going to try, looking at the manual, there's what they call a gimbal pin just there. You pull that out and then the rear outdrive should come off. That doesn't really help me move the transom. I can chainsaw the transom, I don't care, I'm not worried about that. But what I'm thinking, if we work smarter, not harder, these bolts here, they seem to go around the perimeter and bolt to what I would call the bell housing. I've been told, or my uncle said, that what's in there is a drive shaft coming through into, there's almost like a sprung plate with a spline on it, onto the flywheel. So if we undo these bolts, hopefully this whole rear section will just slide away and then we're left with the engine. So I reckon we see what happens. I'm going to give that a whirl, pick it back up and try and crack those and see how we go. Alright, so I just sort of flicked the camera on. So I rang the Brains Trust, good old Uncle Nev, and he said, no, this is how they come apart. There'd just be a little bit, it's probably just rusted on the spline inside. So I'll put the time lapse back on and I'll be a bit gentle and see if I can just work it out. Alright, well, we got it. And yeah, that's not great, but to be honest, it is what it is. So this was the style apparently that drives through a big rubber bush. Well, that rubber bush I killed it and it should have slid out of the guts. Can't imagine why it didn't. So she's obviously seen a fair bit of water in here and probably in through the bottom, or just, general crappy environment. I don't think I didn't break the plate, I didn't crack it or anything, which is good. I am quite certain that Uncle Neville also has the different style, or he's got a couple different styles that they're like a sprung clutch center instead of the rubber, which I kind of think I'm going to like better. But anyway, let's get the outdrive and transom away somewhere. Get this bad boy sitting down, and then I think what I might do is I might grab the 3/4 drive socket set and I might put something on that crank snout. Let's see if it even turns over, because I haven't done that yet. So yeah. Alright, well, she's on the ground. Bit of mucking around. That stand doesn't fit. I'm going to have to cut and shut that. There's a fair bit of corrosion in the back, but we'll see. So I'm going to be fighting a bit of compression because all the glow plugs and everything are still in. But I really want to see if it just moves. Not, you know, I don't need to do revolution. I want to see if the crank just moves. So you keep an eye on the flywheel there. Oh, that's not a good start. Oh, that's not. Okay, back to the Perkins. Nah, just kidding. Let's see if it, she felt tight, eh? Like proper. Okay. Well, we might be scrapping this. I don't want to. Whoop. Okay, I might have to stabilise that a bit better to swing off it, but what I'm going to do, I'll show you. There's a lot of junk. There's a lot of junk in and around the flywheel. So I'm going to get these bolts off, and then I'll see if I can get in there and rattle the flywheel bolts off and get that out of there, and hopefully that'll help, because that could definitely be locking it up. So we'll And also, for those of you playing along at home that were yelling at me and telling me that, oh, that's not ideal. Okay. There's an inspection port on the back of this plate that I took off, which allows you to get to these, what, 6 bolts. This whole unit could have come off with the spline, but it didn't. And I did it that way, and to be honest, it really didn't take that much force, so. Alright, take 2. Couldn't really get that off easily, so we can have a go at cracking these flywheel bolts. I don't know why the flywheel would come off any easier, but we're going to give it a go. God, I love Milwaukee. I just do. They still look in, apart from the heads, they look in really good condition. Don't know if they're single use, they're probably not. Anyway. Righto, that's that. Now. Ooh, there we go, I just heard it move. There we go. That's not really a great sign, because if that moves that easy, it means that it probably is locked up internally. We'll see. Come on, girl. Come on. Whew. Yeah. Nice and light. Alright. There we go. Okay, so she's had some grit in it. We'll see if it moves now. I am not holding a lot of hope, if I'm being honest. Bring you up here. Over here. Let's see if you can see from there. Oh, okay, do that then. Okay, you're there now. Oh, okay. Nah, I thought it moved, but it didn't. Might have just been the socket. Oh no, there we go. Oh, that's a very hard stop. Huh. Oh, there's something mechanically wrong in there. Yeah. So I don't know. I'll see if you can see it. Hang on, let me set the camera up a bit better. Oh, you can see it. So, I'm against engine rotation as far as I can, and that's a hard stop. You watch it from there. Oh, hang on. Set it up a bit better. There we go. From there, and it goes pretty good, and then that is like rock solid. All right, let's get these glow plugs out, make sure nothing's hydraulicked. Alright, so what I found, righto, I was going to take the glow plugs out, but it seems that I have to take the ejectors out in order to take the return rail off. Well, more or less, that return rail I just munched and got out of the way because it was already broken. That's a poor design, but it did let me see that this injector, which would be number 5, is also stuffed. So I get another injector, that's fine. Uncle's got heaps of them. I got that injector comes straight out, number 4. It looks really good, actually, surprisingly. So I'm hoping they all look good. Actually, I'm hoping one of them's hydrolock, to be honest. Otherwise, we could be in for some issues. Anyway, these all move a little bit, so I'm just going to give them a bit of a tweak and bits and pieces, not bang on them. And we'll try and get some WD-40 down there and get them out. If I have to, I'll make an adapter that screws onto the top for the slide hammer. I can just slide them out that way, but we'll see. I'll do some playing and I'll bring you back if there's anything interesting. Alright. These first 4 injectors come out beautiful. These 2, which had a hurry up from the excavator claw, did not. So I'm soaking them, heating them, trying to free them up. These all come out really well, so I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, that it's going to work. But all the guts are out of there, so they're not holding compression in the cylinder anymore, but I'm still locked up. I can still only rotate, you know, 1/16 of a turn. So I think I'm going to turn my attention, I'm going to rip the rocker covers off while they're soaking, and we're going to find out what's going on under the rocker covers. May have dropped a valve, you know, something like that. So let's start there. But bloody BMW. Let's put something you can't freaking get to it. Anyway. And I don't know if you saw in the time lapse, but I did actually go through and blow all the crap out from in between these, so not that at this point I'm feeling it's going to make much difference. I don't have a real good feeling about this anymore. So let's just, I mean, fingers crossed still, you never know. Stranger things have happened. But it doesn't feel like it's just a little bit tight. It feels like a rock solid lock. They all come off really good. What's really surprising about this engine so far is that it's actually coming apart really well. Minus the injectors, but that's not sort of really something to hold against it. Are you going to just undo for me or what? Golly. Alright. Excuse the brutality. What's wrong with a cap head or a hex head where you can just get a freaking socket on it? No, let's do a 2-sided flat that you can't get to because the hump in the rocker cover's in the way. Okay, I am not seeing anything bad. That's not good at all. Let's have a bit of a look here. Need to organise my table. It's getting shocking. Yeah, shush you. Just whatever. Down. Okay, let's. Oh. Huh. Can only hear that one make a noise, which I suppose sort of makes a bit of sense, but yeah, because it's definitely compression. Yeah, compression. That one. So is that one. Do we just get a bit monkey, or? Oh, that is tight. I think we might be pulling the sump off, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's where we're at. I might not even have to bother about trying to get those injectors out of there. Thing is, if it was... Alright. Doesn't get any better news. I haven't I haven't figured out why it's not spinning yet. But I dropped that off. And that looks like it should have come off the Titanic. I mean, look, in all honesty, it would actually probably clean up. You know, you'd be surprised. I've sort of worked a bit of magic with turbos like that before. I think, well, yeah, let's see how far the water went up. So all this water on the ground here was from it. Well, I guess that's the tide mark in the middle. That's where the air could get to. So we'll soak this thing down with some WD and just sort of play with it. I mean, we'll see. Get it spinning and see what the bearings feel like. It's not as bad as it looks, trust me. I was expecting that to be worse, but we'll see. I still haven't figured out why it's not spinning over, so this is all could all be a waste of time. Alright, I thought I'd turn the camera on. I got all the glow plugs out. All of them look really normal, except number, what are we, 5. And number 5 is on top dead center, as should be number 3. That was covered in liquid. Now I can't quite tell if it's water or diesel, but I thought I'd turn the camera on because what I'm going to do is shoot compressed air into the glow plug hole and see what comes out. Your safety's on too. And see what comes out of the injector hole. That's a shame. Nothing. Bummer. Yeah, okay. Well, I was hoping that'd just shoot water out of there, but it didn't. This is getting me. This is getting me. Alright, well, it's on its side, and I'm pretty glad you didn't see how it got there. Nothing's broken, it's on its side. But I think it's a perfect opportunity for me to get to this sump, because we need to dig deeper, people. I haven't found it, and I'm going to find it. I don't care if the engine's junk, I'm still going to find it. Most of them are out. I've got one here, which, of course, you can't get a socket on. You're a very good spanner, to be honest. Oh, come on, don't bust it on the last one. Yes, it's loose. Oh, well, cracked. Again, I am really astounded. All these bolts have come out. I haven't broken a single bolt. So, I don't know, everything's telling me that it's not a bad engine, except the fact that it's a bad engine and it won't rotate. So, I don't know. Let's see what we got. Oh, no, missed one. to the bottom and around. Righto, door number, I don't know, 43. Holy dooly. That sucker's on there. Back to the wrong tool. Holy snapper. The gasket? It's got a gasket. She's just on there. Is there any points to... Sometimes I'll give you points to lever. Oh, this isn't one of those times, I guess. There we go. Ready? What do we got? What do we got? A sludgy. Nah, not even that sludgy if I'm being honest. A sort of sludgy. Nothing's really jumping out, is it? No, it's just, it's a bit scudgy. But it's also a boat motor that hasn't done a lot, but there's no... Oh good, they run crack rods. Anyway. Alright. It's a bit sludgy, but I'm not, you know, not killing me. The pickup's not completely blocked. Anything like that. Let me get that, I'll put the nut back on. Let me get the breaker bar back on the snout. And we'll see if we can see anything from the underside. Okay. Bits in there. Parts of the liner I can see look really nice. That piston's at bottom dead. That's at bottom dead. Okay, so I was actually wrong. It's one and... Oh, they're bottom dead center. Sorry. Yeah. They're bottom dead center. So nothing's top dead. 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all, you know, mid-stroke. 1 and 6 are at basically bottom, or I'm rocking them on bottom. Okay, well I'm not... I don't know, I still got nothing. Let's keep going. Righto. Timing cover's off. There is nothing untoward in there. At the moment, I'm actually a little bit stumped. The only thing left is that it is hanging up on a bore. There's nothing else. None of the valves have dropped. Nothing like that. So, yeah, heads are coming off. I'm going to start with number 6 because that was the one with the busted injector and it could have possibly let water down in there and we could be talking about corrosion in there, but that's where we are. So manifolds and start with number 6 cylinder and work our way through. Alright, I think we may have found our problem. So every single port is just, yeah, leaky intercooler or leaky intercooler. Inlet. Every single, yeah, that's down the intake. Every single one. So, I mean, you can't actually see it because it's not quite bright enough, but that's what I'm pulling out. That's why she won't turn over. Alrighty, everything's off. Yeah, we haven't lifted anything yet. All the heads are loose. but they're all sort of keyed to the manifold. So what we're going to do, the heat exchanger and all the intake manifold is sort of all still bolted together. So we should be able to roll everything.
I'm going to take the heads and all.
Yeah, just roll the whole lot onto its back down there. That's the plan.
So you can't slide them off the heads?
I'd rather just roll the whole lot off at once. You'll be seeing the cylinders at the first time, same time we do. You ready? Oh, that doesn't look good. All the way over. All the way, baby.
Yeah, you've got it.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay. Well,
She's a runner.
can't imagine why that didn't run. Oh, that one's not ideal. Let me get you in close on number 6. Well, and number 2. That's probably not supposed to be like that. There's chunks of the bore.
There's seashells in there.
A lot of sand, a lot of grit. I just don't think it was going to fire up straight away, you know? That one, yeah, whatever. Bit of crap in the bore. Let's see how bad this one is. Oh.
Look at the pinning on you.
Yeah, I know. And 4's got it too. I mean, they've been running, when it was running, relatively well. That one, I reckon, would be okay if we can get it to move. That one doesn't feel terrible. That one... I mean, I've ran a hone on things before and, you know, you'd be surprised, but I just don't know if that's what's going to happen. So give me a few minutes, we're going to clean these up and make a decision then. Alright, so we gave them a little bit of a wipe out and a clean up. Doesn't look like it. I soaked them down with WD, but I leant on the bar and all the pistons move. Wait for it, don't get too excited. All the pistons move, except that one. So what that's done there is just pop the whole liner and everything up. So yeah, that's our bad boy, number 6, obviously. So all the rest move, and I'm actually looking at the bore on number 2, sorry, and it's okay. I'm not worried about that, to be honest. It'll probably be okay. And that one's alright. So what we're going to do is lift it up, pop the rod bolts out, and try and get that whole thing up. Try and get the whole liner and everything out. So, yeah.
Warm it up.
Yeah. Just grab that ring and see if you can get it to the top. Double check those press plates all the way in. So
I'm not touching now. It's a warm thing, mate.
yeah.
Plenty of smoke coming up the inside.
Is it?
Up in there.
I've got a fair bit around the bottom too.
Oh, here comes a bit of weight. Ready?
Yeah, ready.
Something's... Yeah, broke. Yeah, broke the liner. Thought it would.
Okay.
Right, looks like it's another rod as well. We'll never the risk. That should.
That was scary. Alright, well, where do we go from here? So I got the rod off. I ended up using the plasma, and I plasma cut up the side of the barrel, and I was able to knock the piston back down far enough to get the rod off. Obviously it's stuffed, so yeah. I'm pretty sure I said at the start of this video that, you know, this is what taking hold of an opportunity looks like. Maybe it wasn't such as good opportunity as what I thought, but where do we go? What do we do? The options, as far as I can see, is I need to go and check out the parts available, both, you know, from my uncle, see what he's happy to let go of. Like I said, he's got 2 engines in his boat running, so, you know, he obviously wants parts for his own vessel, absolutely. If we've got some parts I can put together, okay. These are no longer produced, and they're really no longer supported as far as, you know, aftermarket parts go, and you certainly can't get new ones. Leaves me in a bit of a pickle. If I'm able to get a barrel and a piston from my uncle, we might be into somewhere. If there's no good ones at his place, you know, none of the engines he's got spare are running units. I don't know what's wrong with them, but none of them are running, so we might end up with the same thing. So I suppose it all comes down to availability and money. I still like the engine. You know, like I said, they're spare outdrives, so I'm not worried about the outdrive so much. The turbo's pretty good. I think that turbo's going to be okay. It freed up without any real issue, and I think it'll be okay. I do need to find out why the water got into the intake manifold. Could have been from sitting outside. It was outside for a couple of months before I got my hands on it. I don't think so. It's a possibility, but I don't think so. I think there's a leak in the charge cooler. So these run oh, come on brain, a water to air intercooler that's part of the top air intake. So it comes out of the turbo, over that and down. If there's a leak in there, it actually drops straight seawater, raw water into the intake. I think that's what's happened. So we'll need to pressure test everything, all that. There's a lot of work. It's a pretty in-depth sort of engine for a, you know, old school mechanical injected engine anyway. So the options are parts, rebuild this one, get it running, see how we go. Or I've still got the Perkins, and I also now have a turbo that I could put on the Perkins. Now that turbo, I'm going to say, is probably a fraction too big, but then again, it's coming off a 3.6 litre 6-cylinder, and it's going to go on a 4 litre 4-cylinder. So it'd run. I'm not too stressed about it. I don't know the specifics of it, but they're not a big turbo. So yeah, I suppose that's where we are. This will be the end of it for this one. I'll call it part 1, because if I can get some parts, hell, I'll build it and get it running. Why not? Especially if it's cost effective. So this will be the end of part 1. I've made a substantial mess in Dad's workshop now, and I'm gonna have to spend some time and clean that up. But anyway, all right, hope this video hasn't dragged on too long, but I'll say a massive thank you to anybody who's watched, subscribed, and also a very big thank you to anybody who's donated. Yeah, I've received a few now, so thank you very much to anybody who has. Any money that gets donated will be going straight back into the boat build, or, you know, other builds on the channel as well, but primarily the boat build. So thank you very much for that, and I'll do some cleaning up, and we'll catch you on the next one.